I'm Ruzel, and I don't got an intro. But I do like to gamble. I'm sure the rest of you do as well. People love gambling. Who wouldn't want to gamble? Gambling's fucking awesome. Especially when you see, like, imagine this, right? You're sitting at a blackjack table. You got a cigarette in your lip, maybe a cigar, pipe, whatever it is you want. Maybe you don't smoke. You just got like a beer at the table. Whatever. You're in this room that's brightly colored. People in suits, people walking by. There's drinks. There's nice smells. There's pretty ladies. You're getting a dopamine as you throw cards down on the table, and maybe you win a little bit. You end up walking out of there with like a couple $100 that you won. Feels good. How about people like that? It hits. That's enjoyable. Really gets the brain going. It could be the exact opposite too, which is another reason why it hits so hard, why gambling is so much fun. Because if you lose everything, you get that withdrawal feeling that I'm an idiot, this is horrible, or I need to make this money back. It's that duality. It's the extremes. You can have the extreme pleasure of winning, and you can also have the extreme horrible, terrible feeling of just blowing your paycheck on bullshit that meant nothing. When you put those together, then you really start to feel something. That's how you get out of the mundaneness of the world. And speaking of the world, things have gotten so mundane, apparently, that you've seen the rise of predictive markets. That's what they call it. It's a fancy fucking word for gambling and being stupid. And everyone can do it now. Ever since like, what was it, October of 2024, when the Poly Market and Kalashi really kind of got their footing and their market valuations soared past $1 billion for the first time ever, and it really started becoming like a household name of Kalashi and Poly Market and sports betting. What's the name of the DraftKings, the sports one. So it's no longer that fix, that kick that you can get when you're sitting at that goddamn roulette table or pulling the slot machines. You can get that kick from your bed when you wake up in the morning, looking through Kalashi and seeing some market betting. See what might be out there. Will this happen? Are we gonna bomb Iran? Is the president gonna bring up China in the next his next debate? Is like you could probably find everything. I'm not gonna fucking download the Poly Market or Kalashi just to find absurd. I'm not doing it. But fuck that. Not worth it. I just want to talk about it. But I will, and I have looked up some other stats, specifically Statistia, I think is what the website's called. Weird ass name, but they believe, from what we've got on the numbers, that the GGR, or the gross gaming revenue of the country. So this is an interesting stat because it's revenue. So it's money made by casinos, Poly Market, Kalashi, your fucking local dive bar that has whatever. Everyone who reported their revenue in what they made through people gambling in them. So this is basically 72 billion US dollars just ripped right out of the common man for the most part. Just the average person. This is $72 billion that the general public is never going to have again, most likely. There's probably a little bit of that goes back for like the dealers, the servers, the people that work at these institutions. They'll get a bit of more of that back. But $72 billion, $1 billion is an unfathomable number. So that's a lot of betting. That's a lot of gambling. We got a lot of gambling going on here. Tons of it. And the American Gambling Association is actually surprisingly open about the money that can be made. And they give a slightly different answer when it comes to like the total revenue money stream of gambling. They believe that gaming contributed $329 billion to the U.S. economy. 2020 first. This might be a comprehensive thing, like a since 2018, I believe that $329 billion is from 2018 till I think the end of 2023 is when they did this. So that kind of lines up. You look at $72 billion a year recently. There was a lot less before COVID as well. COVID spiked gambling. People started gambling when they were locked into their house, especially since you could do it online, though that came like 23, 24. That's when it really started to be impactful to gamble from home. On the predictive markets, you could still gamble from home from like online gambling sites, which there's a very small group of people that probably put a lot of the money into this shit. And then they like to bring up that the people working, there's like 2 million jobs, people working for gambling places and gambling sites and whatever. Then that was like $100 billion given to the wages and tips and benefits and whatever. So $100 billion in 6 years given back to actual people, and not just like fucking Caesar himself or the two big Kalashi market people. They're the Kalashi and the Poly market. Tarek and Shane, if you know, you know. Those CEOs. And so this is a huge thing. Gambling is a huge thing, is what I'm getting at with all this stuff. This is sports betting alone for 2024. Almost $14 billion in revenue. So that's not profit, that is revenue. That is the essentially, like, basically the total amount of money people put in towards betting. And then that money was then, I believe if it's revenue for sports betting, that's honestly I don't know if that means it going straight back to the sports books. $13.7 billion going to the sports books, and then maybe they spend like $5 billion to keep their system going, or if that's like total winnings. So just everybody who won money all together, cumulatively, including the sports books, 13.7 billion. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of hard with what revenue is and how gambling is. That's a tricky one. I'm not 100% sure on how to go about that. But it doesn't really matter. The whole idea is that gambling is this huge industry. Massive industry. Specifically, more than half of Americans are going to gamble some form every year. Maybe you just do one little sports bet. Maybe you go to the casino with your buddies once a year. Maybe you're into Kalashi and the predictive sports betting. Maybe a handful of other things. I don't know if stock markets are included in this. Probably not. I would assume that those fucking stock sharks think that they're a bit different and that it's like not actually gambling and that they have like more intention behind it. Kind of like somebody who can count cards, so they think they're not gambling because they're good at it, whatever. So I don't know. I would assume that's not including people that are into the stock market, most likely. That is just like casino and sports betting. Here, this one's raised 9 out of 10 people. People like gambling. Acceptable. Gambling's acceptable. 62 find it personally acceptable. So there's a good chance that even if you don't agree with gambling, you still think it's fun. And why wouldn't you think it's fun? It is fun. Gambling is fun. People fucking love to gamble. We do it all the time. It's high stakes, losing control, being on the whims and the mercy of something else, whether you come out on top or don't. Oh my god, it feels so fucking good. And so people love this shit. It's great entertainment. And this is where it gets scary, though. Because of that innate feeling that people have. It's enjoyable. It's fun, you know? It kind of lightens the mood. It's culturally cool. And also, I want to look at the after COVID. people really were running out of things to do. And gambling shoots up. This is just casino visitation as well. So you can see, like, right after, if this is to be believed, and it's the American Gaming Association, so they try to be as accurate as they can about their statistics for gambling. They're pretty incentivized to do so I would trust it. But you can see, once there's a little stagnation, COVID happens, gambling was going down, and then it kind of plateaus, interestingly enough, throughout the year. And then it starts skyrocketing since 2011. People going to casinos. And that's really particular. It's showcasing something where people want to participate in gambling. People like to do it. And then you get into gambling itself is like individual. So typically, if you go and gamble, the only person you're going to hurt is yourself. And that's not like a horrible thing. In America, that's not, you're allowed to do that. Nobody cares if you're going to do something that could potentially hurt yourself. We care when you do something that could hurt the people around you. So gambling, very individual, not a big issue, right? Like an entertaining, fun thing to do on the side. People probably will be like, you know that's a bad idea, but you'll do it anyways because it's fun, because fun things are often bad ideas. Predictive markets are a whole nother beast. Oh my goodness, these are scary. Scary, 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 scary. Kalshi, Poly Market, these are the big ones. People know about them. They've exploded since October of 2024. And I brought that up earlier, October of 2024. That's a really important date. Very, 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 very important date. Some of you might know why right off the gate. Some more savvy people might immediately see why this is crazy. This is absurd. This is nuts. What happens right after October 2024? November 2024. The presidential election. Trump versus Kamala. People were betting on who was going to win in mass. It was huge. You can see right here, the market cap of market volume of Kalshi, the little green one, and Poly Market, the blue one, explode. People go nuts gambling on the future of the political climate of America. What the fuck? And then ever since then, it kind of became into public eye. People got to hear more about it. People probably heard stories of people that were like, "Oh, I put $500 down on Donald Trump, and he made me 1,000 or whatever the fuck." And so then they want to get a piece of it, and it just kind of keeps feeding into itself. And the worst part about this is now you have this monetary incentive for gambling. There's money involved for political, global, economic, all these different global factors that before were just these like big important events that people would, people you don't really know about in higher places of government or positions of power. They would have the decision-making process on this. They would make certain laws or rules or decisions that end up changing the outcome of a foreign nation or an economy market or something you may notice in your daily life. Maybe it could be something really, really controversial, like abortion. What if we had a will abortion remain legal? It probably is. I haven't looked, but by the end of 2026, will abortion still be a federally protected law, or will it be a state law? Like, you start getting into these super dangerous situations where there is incentive by the people who control these decisions to bet towards what they want and then profiteer off of the decisions they knew they were going to be making already. And we've got some really fucking good examples of this with Donald Trump and like the president right now. The war profiteering going on in Iran is undeniable and absurd. Oh my god. If you want to make unethical money right now, just jump in on the Kalashi poly market um bullshit of betting on like when Jesus Christ is gonna come back, or will we do this to Iran, or are the peace talks gonna fall through, or does the House Speaker bring up this, blah blah blah. If you do some serious research, and maybe if you know somebody who's in on this shit, that's the biggest thing. The people that are in on this are going to know the decisions probably months ahead of time. They're likely going to start the predictive market on the decision they want to make money on, and then they will just act and market and advertise the opposite for months and get this public opinion spewing of like, oh, this isn't gonna happen, this isn't gonna happen, this isn't gonna happen, when they put in like $1 million at the very beginning that it is gonna happen, and then they say it isn't gonna happen, and they say it's not gonna happen, and then it happens, and they just fucking wealth. Yeah, they make a fuckload of money. They make a fuckload of money. The lottery, the lottery. This is like the OG of all of this, is the lottery. Dumb people putting their hard-earned money towards a system that intentionally consolidates wealth. This is where Polymarket and Kalashi are going. They are going to consistently and progressively consolidate wealth into fewer and fewer and fewer people or companies or corporations or government entities or politicians, whatever it might be. Just the average person is going to get fucked the most. So fuck, I love gambling. I love gambling. It is a huge part of the American economy, and it is going to fuck over a lot of things and a lot of people. And it is extremely, extremely dangerous to have a monetary incentive on things like blowing up Iraq. I shouldn't have to explain why that is insane. Well, I'm Ruzel. I don't have an outro. And I will continue to bet on Polymarket or whoever the fuck. I'm gonna go throw my money away and burn it.